Going behind bars. 57,000 people in North Carolina are incarcerated. That's according to the Prison Policy Initiative data from 2023. 29,000 are in state prisons, 18,000 are in local jails, and 8,800 are in federal prison. The remaining 950 are either in youth detention centers or involuntary commitment facilities. But not all of those people behind bars are always guilty. That's where the North Carolina Innocence Inquiry Commission comes in. It's a small state agency dedicated to investigating inmates' wrongful conviction claims.
We review their claim, and if we feel as though it has merits and fits within our statutory construct, we then have it begin the process that would eventually lead to a commission hearing. If the claimant pleaded guilty originally, then the vote of the commissioners must be unanimous in order to send it on. If it was a trial, then it must be by majority. From there, it would go to a 3-judge panel. And at that point in time, the original district attorney's office will step in and prosecute the case. And the claimant will bear the burden of proving his innocence at that hearing. And if he or she is successful at that hearing, then he or she is exonerated.
Now that's Laura Piero with the commission. So far, the group has helped exonerate 16 people. But the North Carolina Senate claims the commission hasn't done enough to keep giving it the $1.6 million it uses every year. So funding for the commission has been eliminated from the state Senate's proposed budget. I spoke with Piero about what that means and what happens next.
Take me back when you found out that the Senate's proposed budget looks like ending your funding. You were shocked and saddened. Talk to me about that.
I was completely shocked. And I think that there is, unfortunately, a lot of misinformation that is out there. And in my journey thus far, attempting to save the commission, I continue to be confronted with that lack of information about who we really are, what we really do, some of the things that we do that people don't know about, the fact that we confirm guilt and don't just look into exonerations. So that's where the saddened comes in.
And it says that that the commission hasn't handled enough cases to be worth the investment in a year, and they're trying to cut costs. What's your reaction in response to that?
So I would invite everybody to go to our website and look at the stats. In terms of not being in a position to handle enough cases, I would tell you that we're over 3,700 cases that we have handled to date. If you want to look at solely the exonerations, then again, I would remark that we are not yet 18 years old, but yet have had 16 exonerations. And you have to be, when you're challenging us like this, you have to be very circumspect. And so I would remind everyone that when the commission first came around, you necessarily have some lead up time to your first exoneration. Then of course, COVID hit and a lot of things were shut down. So if you talk about the fact that we're about 17 and a half years old and we've had 16 exoneration, I would take that as statistics. What that says is that we're doing a good job, that we're reaching the folks that need to be reached. You wouldn't want there to be 5 and 6 exonerations a year, right? Because then that would speak to something a little more insidious. So that is a very good statistic. And I would remind people to, again, be circumspect. Look at that. That is a really great job by this commission.
Do you have a ratio back of the 16 exonerations you've had?
We've only had one white male exoneree and the rest Black male exonerees.
And does that tell you something?
It does. There is always going to be an underserved population in a community. And it does speak to the fact that there may be some imbalance there that we are helping to address.
Senate has already done it, so I guess the House also they have to come together. So how are you looking in the House?
So I have to thank the House and applaud them for sticking by us. They did, in fact, include us in the budget. So the Senate chose to vote to eliminate us, and the House restored us, as it were, for now. And now they have to get together, the two chambers, to reconcile. And so I would encourage everyone, again, to shift back to the Senate. They have an opportunity to see their error. And so I would just encourage the senators. You don't want to be that person that made a decision of this magnitude without knowing all the facts.
Now, we did reach out to our local state senators to get their response and see where budget negotiations stand with the House. So far, we have not heard back.